Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. A remake of an awesome game, this adventure takes you as the role of a Pokemon as you try to help Pokemon in need and figure out why you were a human before. This time, however, I decided to add a little twist to this playthrough, something that is very different to the design of this game. Time to answer a question in my mind. Can you beat Rescue Team Deluxe without using Pokemon moves? Like all challenge runs, we need rules. We are not allowed to use any moves from our move list and status screens. And this goes for the entire team. So that goes for me, my partner, and any Pokemon we may recruit on the way. The only real exception to this rule is clients from rescue missions, but we don't do rescue missions in this anyway, so... This game also has a nifty little screen that shows us all the Pokemon moves in the game as well, so we will know which ones is illegal or not. Our goal will be complete when we reach the game's credits without having used a Pokemon move from this list. However, there is a major problem with this game's save system. Rather than using the original save points like sleeping in bed, this game opts to use the save feature whereas it essentially saves every single frame that you play. As such, if you accidentally use a move, which is incredibly easy to do by the way, instead of going back to our last save point, you're going to have to start back straight to the title screen. Now that we have all the rules set, we can finally just start the run. Picking my starter and partner is fairly simple. I went with Pikachu and Skitty as their abilities were very useful, and they level up pretty quick as well. Starting in Tiny Woods, after turning off our partner's moves, we are met with a little mini tutorial on how to play the game. It's not much of a problem though, we can just go up to the first enemy and use a normal attack. Oh. Well, this isn't good. In the original game, there was a normal attack you could use to do a sort of weaker tackle. It wasn't very strong, but at least it was the only real way to not use a move in those games. As the series progressed, they made the normal attack weaker and a lot worse. And in this game, I think they hated it so much that they just deleted it. Oh well, it's fine. We can just turn off all of our moves and that will surely fix the problem. Oh. That uses struggle? Surely struggle isn't on this list, is it? Well, this is a roadblock and a half. We can push it away, but it really doesn't help if our partner is stupid and also uses struggle. Can we really not get past the first enemy? Man, maybe it's not possible to beat the game without using a move after all. Is what I would say if I wasn't here for about 7 hours doing this! I swear, this game is very backwards. If we approach this Sunkern and switch places with your partner, for some truly unexplained reason, our partner just decides to use their normal attack. Since this attack is just labeled attack by the game, and is not in this move list, this is considered legal by my rules. However, when I try the same thing on the next enemy, I just get a struggle. What exactly is going on here? Well, for some reason, when you're in an entrance to a corridor, instead of using struggle, the AI of whatever partner you have changes to normal attack instead. I really couldn't tell you why, but it truly is consistent, and with this knowledge, we can do some setups and get past the tutorial move free. Starting the dungeon, go to this corner and wait for this Wurmple to come over. Push him down and walk into the corridor for your partner to bash his face in. Switch places to deal with the Sunkern from earlier to take care of him, and take a certain path to lure this Pidgey over to your partner to take care of. Let me remind you that this is only the first floor. On floor 2, push this Wurmple to the next room, then switch places for your partner for them to kill it. You should just have barely enough HP to live all of its attacks. Do the same thing we did on floor 1 to kill this Sunkern, and now we're on the fun part. The third floor is entirely random, per Mystery Dungeon standards. The goal is to find the stairs and avoid any and all enemies at all. However, if the game is absolutely mean to you, it can spawn your partner right next to an enemy, and if that happens when you're not near a corridor, it's an instant reset. With some decent at best RNG, we can find the stairs and finally complete Tiny Woods moveless. Man, that took a while. But if you thought it was over, we aren't even halfway done. After beating Tiny Woods, the game automatically puts us to the next dungeon with no breaks, Thunderwave Cave. This essentially is an extension of the tutorial from Tiny Woods, meaning we have more setups to do. Lure this Rattata up carefully and make it to the corridor before your partner homes in on it. Switch places for your partner to kill this Volt Orb. On floor 2, lure these enemies up and switch places. Your partner will take a beating, but they should just barely live against both of them. All that's left now is to switch places and kill the Rattata. Now comes the hardest part. We now need to survive 3 floors that are completely random. While very luck dependent, it is very possible to do, and once we do luck out, we can finally complete the hardest part of the run. Now we finally have access to Pokemon Square, and more importantly, our storage lets us take and store items that we will need. Now you're probably thinking, but Spy, you don't have anything even important in storage, you just started the game, you freaking idiot! And yeah, you're right, but here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna get some help. You see, Nintendo and Pokemon both send out Wonder Mail codes to give us free items. This ranges from Reviver Seeds, to apples, to some orbs, to stat boosters that we can use. Since we have lost access to the normal attack, and our partner is super unreliable, instead we're going to take these codes and fill up our storage with basically everything we will need for the rest of the game. And after inputting every code that is known, our inventory is filled up with everything we will need. Going in order of all important items, we have throwing items, which will be our main source of damage from now on. In the list we have Cactus Spikes and Corsola Twigs, which will do the most damage since they're based around our own attack stat. Gravel Rocks, Geo Pebbles, and Golden Fossils will do a fixed amount of 20, 30, and 50, making them good at beginning dungeons or just finishing off a weak Pokemon. Next we're going to take a Power Band. This will raise our damage output since it also raises our attack stat. Orange Berries are incredibly useful in this game. They heal 100 HP, which is basically a full heal for the main story, and raise your HP by 10 for the rest of the dungeon if your HP is below 100, helping us greatly survive. Also a feature from Super Mystery Dungeon is the ability for our partner to use Orange Berries on us when our HP gets low, helping us survive against bosses. Of course, take mini Reviver Seeds. You'll never know what bullcrap lies ahead. For orbs, the all dodge, all power up, all protect, evasion, and quick orbs we will save for later bosses as they are extremely broken and help us greatly. The last items that are notable on this list is the Petrify, Faux Hold, Faux Seal, and Spurn orbs, as they effectively freeze enemies in place, letting us sneak by without fighting. This is incredibly necessary for a few dungeons later. With all of our preparations set, it is now time to head to our third dungeon, Mount Steel. Now, something I strongly recommend is turning your partner AI to don't use moves for, well, very obvious reasons. This will make your partner not stupid and not accidentally attack. But to make them not just a sitting duck, register some rocks for them to throw. If you just throw some gravel rocks and stuff, you'll make it to the boss in absolutely no time at all. Skarmory is honestly no trouble at all. Channel your inner Pokemon anime and just throw enough sticks and they should give up eventually. Now we have access to our friend camps, which are pretty important as we can now use stat boosters and more importantly, learn a rare quality. Rare qualities are a feature unique to this game that give you a second ability out of 34 set ones in order to help your whole team. The first rare quality your main character will learn is preset, but after that, it's RNG to determine what skill you get. What we absolutely want is Thrown Item Boost, which gives our thrown items a 1.5 power boost and an immunity to enemies just grabbing the item and dealing no damage. In this run I have on screen, the best I got was Riled Up. Well, I mean, at least it's something useful, I guess, but we really don't need our own item boost to win this challenge. Trust me. After using a few escape orbs to progress the story, we now meet up with Team Minis, who challenges us to save a Metapod in the woods before they do. This starts the next dungeon, Sinister Woods. Honestly, other than the enemies getting a bit tougher, there really isn't anything else to talk about here. Until we get to the boss, which is Team Minis themselves. The biggest danger here is Gengar using Hypnosis, putting us to sleep, and Medichamp's pure power ability doubling her physical attack power. Use one of your all power up orbs here to boost your attack to max and start throwing sticks like crazy. Your partner will probably give up halfway through, so just use them as bait while you kill the remaining team members and you should win easily. Next up in the plot, we need to go check on if Shiftry from earlier in the story is dead or not. Going into Silent Chasm, it really doesn't have anything noteworthy that we haven't done yet. Just to make it to the 10th floor and see that he isn't dead yet, just captured by Zapdos, telling us we need to come to Mount Thunder instead. Jumping straight into Mount Thunder, here's where the enemies pose a much bigger threat. Now to be honest, we really don't need our partner going forward. If they die, we can just keep going without them, no problems at all. In the original, you couldn't do this, as if one of you died, that was game over. But since Super Mystery Dungeon, this was changed, and they will rejoin us for the boss when we get there. Zapdos is one of the more bigger, threatening bosses so far. He has some really powerful moves and a much wider attack range due to his size. He also has one of the most annoying moves in the entire game, Pluck, which steals anything food related in your bag. This also includes Reviver Seeds too. However, due to my type advantage, we were able to get past no problem. After being Zapdos, Alakazam suggests that we go to the Hill of the Ancients to get some answers about being a human. But first we gotta cut through Great Canyon. Other than having absolutely sick music, I don't have much to say about this place. Your partner will probably die, but it's very doable. Once on floor 13, we get some pretty lame answers and continue our life. However, Gengar manages to turn everyone against us, making us run away from home and taking a journey to actually get some decent answers. This starts the fugitive arc of the game, starting us in Lapis Cave, which really doesn't have anything scary in it. There's no boss or anything, it's just 14 floors of boringness. But then we get to Mount Blaze. I mean, what's so bad in here? It's nothing we haven't done. Look, it's just Slugma, one of the worst Pokemon ever made. We could just slug the stick at him and he'll die. Oh. In Super Mystery Dungeon, some abilities were changed so they got extra buffs. One of which was Magma Armor and Flame Body, which makes the user immune to thrown items. This instantly makes Slugma slug my words back at me, as he becomes one of the most dangerous Pokemon in this challenge. To make him even more threatening, he has Incinerate, one of the worst moves in the game. This effectively removes one item from my bag, and yes, this also means Reviver Seeds. So, how are we getting past this nightmare? Well, the answer lies in the Full Hold and Full Seal orbs. Like I said before, these orbs freeze all enemies in place, as long as they're in the same room. Proceed carefully, praise for some good luck, and if you think you're gonna get surrounded, wait for a good chance to use the orb and walk right by. If Arceus has mercy on you, we can make it out and fight Moltres. Thankfully, he has no stupid gimmicks, dumb moves, or immunities, so just pelt him with sticks and celebrate that we finally made it past Mount Blaze. Next up is Frosty Forest. Nothing really here to talk about actually. Just your standard dungeon with a lot of floors. Articuno is the boss this time, but ice types suck in every game, so there's absolutely no problem here. Absol comes in to lead us now as we head to Mount Freeze, as reaching the top supposedly has the answers we need. First of all, turn Absol's moves off! You wouldn't want to get 5 hours into this and have it all die just because Absol killed something with a move. Other than that, the enemies are very strong and take multiple sticks to kill, but shouldn't really be too much of a problem. As we reach the top, Alakazam's team reaches us and, in a very legal and move-free fight, try to kill us, but Ninetales stops us to advance the plot and give us actual decent answers, making everyone like us again. Now we take a detour to Uproar Forest to clear a plot-related job quest. Unlike the original, this place is super short, but actually has a tough boss, which is the Mankey Squad. I actually underestimated this boss so hard that I actually died, but this death actually taught me very important things. 1. Don't underestimate bosses, you freaking idiot. And 2. While I was rescuing myself, Absol actually has a far greater attack stat than my main character, doing far more damage and killing stuff in one hit. This means for the rest of the game, I'll be using Absol in my third slot and playing as them for their far greater damage. After doing that fight again and winning this time, we actually upgrade our base and make it look not ugly. However, Alakazam's team isn't back from their mission in Magma Cave, prompting us to go help them. Now if you didn't like Mount Blaze, you're not gonna like Magma Cavern. A lot of the early Pokemon here are very strong and take multiple sticks to kill, even with Absol's higher damage output. The worst part is that Slugma's evolution, Macargo, is here as well, and it has the same ability as before. It's also packing one of the most broken moves of all time, Shell Smash, and thus can absolutely one-shot you if it wants to. Take your foe-stopping orbs and run away like a coward just like we did in Mount Blaze, and after enough praying, we can make it to the boss, Groudon. Groudon has some very scary moves and hits really hard, along with a very broken ability. However, we can definitely get through this no problems whatsoever. Use a quick orb turn 1. This lets us use another item on the same turn, which then we can use an all protect orb, which blocks all damage no matter how strong. An evasion orb, which makes us basically unhittable, and an all power up orb. With all 4 of these orbs combined, Groudon can't do anything to us, and we can slowly cut his health down with sticks to win the fight. With Groudon defeated, more problems arise. There's now suddenly a giant meteor coming straight for us. With honestly nothing else better to do, me and our partner take the teleport gem and fly over to Sky Tower to ask if Rayquaza can destroy it. Sky Tower is the final dungeon in the main story and is the longest and hardest dungeon yet. Everything has powerful moves and can easily kill you in 2 to 3 hits. There's also really giant odds that a monster house could show up, which, I mean, good luck if you don't have a faux seal orb or something. Absolutely spam all of your sticks and make sure nothing comes close to you, and we can make it to the top to fight the final boss of the game, Rayquaza. This dude comes packing a powerful moveset and room-hitting moves, and a gimmick that shuffles your position in the fight. However, just like we did to Groudon, if we use all 4 of the orbs, Quick, All Protect, Evasion, and Power Up, he absolutely cannot hurt us just like Groudon. Throw every single stick that you have, and he will eventually go down. With Rayquaza convinced and the meteor destroyed, we leave our partner and we decide to never, ever come back, letting us finally beat the game. So, can you beat Rescue Team DX without using a move? Surprisingly, yes, you can. The beginning was very sketchy, and I really didn't think it would be possible at first, but with some screwing around, testing, and all that crap, you could totally beat this game moveless. Now, as I always say, tell me in the comments if you like this video, or tell me if you think this video sucks and how I can probably improve it a bit. I've had this challenge in my mind ever since the start of the game's release, and I've always wanted to try it, and I did try it back then, but I've never really, fully done it, mostly because of my motivation and everything. But after doing a lot of these recent other challenges I've done, I've actually gotten a lot of motivation to do it, finally. But yeah, I really like this game, and you should really give it a try. As much as reviews tell you that it sucks and everything, which is a total lie.